Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan, dearest Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters. Let me take you back to the year 2005. I had completed my post-graduation in chemistry, my master's in chemistry, and with the desire that I wanted to be with Swami. Whatever may be the course, it doesn't matter. I just want to be with Swami. And solely for this reason, I had taken up MBA in marketing. So it was not for any, building up a career, or it is not for enhancing my resume. Because when I look back at my own life now, as it was said, because of Swami's grace and my mother and father's immense blessings and prodding, I'm grateful to them for that. My life has just been influenced by how can I be near and dear to Swami. So I did a bachelor's in bioscience, a master's in chemistry, an MBA in marketing, and joined a media team where I had no exposure before. So I had joined MBA, and life was going on in Swami's college and hostel. Suddenly, I felt a kind of stagnation, if I may call it that. Stagnation meaning I felt that I am not progressing spiritually. What is happening in my life? I began to wonder. I used to attend the morning Suprabhatam in the hostel, then the prayers in the university, then evening darshan, bhajan in the mandir, night prayers. I used to participate in all the spiritual activities, all the things that were stipulated. And Swami had also once said, that my students need not do any special sadhana. All they need to do is adhere to the hostel schedule. Just do the things that are stipulated as part of the hostel schedule. And I was doing all of that. Yet I felt that, what is it? I'm so stagnant. I'm not growing. I'm not progressing spiritually. Many of us feel this also. How do I know I'm progressing spiritually? How do I know that I'm doing my sadhana successfully? When we possibly watch movies or read the comics, we see these spiritually elevated souls with a halo around their head, or with with possibly levitating in the air, and we do not experience any of that, and we wonder whether we are spiritually progressing or not. Why are we stagnant? This is what I was feeling. I was not feeling that bubbling energy within, that pulsating enthusiasm. Just imagine. Why I am telling this is very significant is because I was at Puttaparthi in Swami's physical presence, and yet I am feeling this stagnation. Every day I am having darshan, every day I am attending bhajans, and yet I am wondering, why Swami, why am I not feeling that energy? Why am I not feeling vibrant? Why? What sadhana should I do? This sadhana is not enough. Swami, you had said that if we follow the hostel schedule, it is enough, but I think it is not enough. This is the kind of misunderstanding that arises when we get worried, when we feel we are stagnant. Whatever Swami says is perfect, complete, comprehensive. Nothing else needs to be added to it. And yet when we feel like this, it is because our mind, our ego is sitting and subtracting from Swami's message, and that's why it feels incomplete. So I began to wonder, what should I do? I need to do some more sadhana. I need to possibly meditate. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And Swami had a master plan to teach me my lesson, I'm sure, because I landed upon a book by Ramana Maharshi. Not by Ramana Maharshi, a book on Ramana Maharshi. And when I was reading, I came across one particular experience of his. The great sage of Arunachala, as a child, was very healthy, very active, very mischievous and naughty too. But despite all of this, one day he says, suddenly the fear of death gripped him. He began to shudder and shiver, thinking of what will happen when he dies. The fear of death shook him rather very, very strongly. And at that time, instead of going and seeking solace from anybody and everybody out, this teenager sits calm by himself and begins to wonder, what is now going to happen when I die? He decides to actually enact his own death. He lies down, hands spread wide, legs spread wide, closing his eyes. He clenches himself and makes himself tight in order to, simulate rigor mortis, like what will happen to a body after death. His eyes are shut, his mouth is, lips are pursed and not open at all. And as he does this, he decides that now the breath is going off. His breath becomes shallower and shallower till it ultimately stops. And in that moment, he is so involved in this visualization that he is unable to move any limbs. Now he feels the body is going to be cremated because the body is dead. It is lifeless. It is still. It cannot move. And yet, why is it that I am still feeling so alive? His was an opposite case. His body was absolutely still and nothing was happening, and yet he was feeling alive. On the other hand, my body was doing everything. It was playing games, going to mandir, going to college, doing everything, and yet I was feeling dead. So he then writes that, he then continues that experience. He says, I am feeling such pulsating energy. I know that I am not dead, and yet the body is dead. This must mean only one thing, which is I am not the body. Because the body is dead and yet I don't feel dead. I feel so alive. I feel so full of energy. Wow. And he feels such joy, such thrill, such vibrance that the fear of death is just gone. No longer is there that fear of death. He says, death is only for the body. I cannot die. I don't die. I am immortal. That moment of nirvana, of self-realization, that moment of enlightenment, it occurs to him at that point in time. Yes, after that he is Ramana Maharshi. Throughout life, he was Ramana Maharshi. This in itself will show, dear brothers and sisters, that what sadhana we do, that is not an outward path. It is not about going to a temple, going to a center, going to mandir, seeing a photograph, doing bhajan, doing japa. All these are facilitators, because sadhana is an inward path. When Ramana Maharshi got his moment of enlightenment, his body was almost dead. For all practical purposes, it was dead. His senses were cut off, nothing. It's an entirely inward path. And when I read this, I got very inspired. I said, this is what I want. Oh, Ramana, you felt that vibrance, right? You felt that energy. You felt it pulsating within you. I also want that experience. I'm also going to do this. And therefore, it started from that day on. What I would do every night, I would go to sleep in the prayer hall. So we had the option to choose to sleep either in the prayer hall or in our own rooms in the hostel. So I decided I would go and sleep in the prayer hall because I felt the vibrations there would be better. And every night I would do this exercise that Ramana did as a teenager, right? Like I would lie down prostrate and hold my hands and legs and everything very stiff, and then think I am dead. Now I am dead. Now I am dead. And so therefore, why do I need to even breathe? I need not breathe. I would hold my breath. And that's it. Before I could hold my breath for about 40 seconds, then it improved to 1 minute, 10 seconds, in a span of 4 weeks. It's not that I felt any vibrance or enthusiasm. I didn't get my moment of enlightenment or, self-realization. Instead, possibly my air holding capacity increased, my lung capacity increased. That's all that happened. All this a part of his beautiful master plan, as I said. The stagnation continued, and I was like, Swami, what sadhana should I do? What sadhana should I do? What should I do? Tell me, Swami, I'm not feeling, I'm following. Yes, Ramana got it. Why am I not getting it? He got it in one session, in one sitting. I am doing every day. I'm not getting it. Why? This was what was going on. The festival of Dasara came that year, and as we know, during Dasara, every day Swami delivers his discourse. I still remember the day, 9th of October 2005. I was sitting in the mandir and Swami was on the dais. Swami began his divine discourse. This was the day when possibly my yearning for some spiritual experience had reached a kind of zenith. I was wondering, why, Swami, why is nothing happening to me? Tell me where it is, what sadhana should I do? And Swami begins his discourse, as he always does, with a poem. And in the poem, Swami says, without sleeping at night, people think they are doing sadhana. The moment Swami said that, without sleeping at night and not doing any work during the day, people think they are doing sadhana. And I almost felt that Swami was hitting me straight. You fellow, don't think by holding your breath at night over there you are doing any sadhana. No, that's not sadhana. So even as Swami said this, on one hand I was thrilled. On the other hand, I felt a little bit hurt. Like, Swami, don't mock me, Swami, don't mock me. I want to know what I should do. Swami continued with his poem. After completing the poem, in that discourse, Swami actually said, here is one sadhana that you need to do. If you do, that's enough. Nothing else needs to be done. So indeed, Swami answered. Swami answered my question. And what Swami said there was, you have to develop love. And what is that love? That love that allows you to see oneness in everyone. Possibly that's an Advaitic state at a level of Dvaita which most of us are in, wherein we see things as separate. We are seeing bodies separate. Swami said, you have immense love for God. See that God in everyone. See that God in everyone. How? So difficult. In some people we can see God. In some people, how do we see God? God, they are so nasty, so terrible, so cruel, so adharmic. How can I see God in them? But that's the thing. Sadhana is not an external path. It's not about what people are doing externally. It's not about what people are saying or speaking and behaving. It's the ability to see beyond that and look at the inherent divinity in all. Not that by doing this they will change or they will behave differently. No. My perception of the world will change. We know Gautam Buddha, right? Prince Siddhartha. He set out to solve 3 problems in life. The problem of sickness, illness, the problem of old age, and the problem of death. Now tell me, is he a success story or a failure story? The whole world will agree that Gautam Buddha is a great success story. If he is a great success story, why is there illness in the world? Why is there old age in the world? Why is there death in the world even today? When he has solved that problem. He solved the problem for himself. Because his sadhana is an inward path. And once he solved that problem for himself within, the whole world became perfect. There was no more mistakes or errors that he saw in the world. He didn't feel the need to change anything. That's it. Enlightenment is an inward path. And this is what Swami emphasized in that discourse. The interesting point, dear brothers and sisters, is that later on when I revisited this discourse and I was looking at the translation, in the poem, that sentence, without sleeping at night, is not there. It is just written there without doing any work. And I wondered, how is this possible? I clearly heard it. So I decided I will go back to the audio of the discourse. 2005, Swami had had a fall, right? And during this discourse, his voice was a little bit shaky. Now, in the discourse, Swami actually said Panileka. Panileka means without work, without doing any work, lazily. But because Swami's voice was a little bit shaky, even to this day, if you go and listen to that discourse, you will agree with what I am saying. I heard it as Pankoleka. Pankoleka means without sleeping. What Swami said as without doing any work, I heard it as without sleeping. And it thrilled me so much. For I realized that when we sit and listen to Swami's discourse, again, it's not about the physical listening, it's about the inward listening. We are blessed to have a Lord who will communicate to us exactly what we need. Just imagine on that day, only I needed to listen to that discourse as Pankoleka, without sleeping. The rest of the world heard it as Panileka, without working. And in the same discourse, just with an apparent shaky voice, because of the shaky voice, Swami communicated. Again, I am stating this because many times we feel, especially in the later stages, we felt Swami is looking a little bit weak, or Swami is not able to walk, or Swami seems to be having this issue, all because of old age. No, no, no. Whether it is sitting on the wheelchair, whether it is walking with a slight limp, whatever Swami did, everything has been done as a part of the master plan, and everything has been done so that some one of us benefits. Every action of Swami, every word of Swami, every thought of Swami is absolute selflessness. And that day, when we look at it practically, it is like Swami had a shaky voice. Maybe his voice was not good, or maybe he was not feeling so well. No. Here was a message that had to be delivered to a devotee, and therefore I am doing it. And based on that one instance, I am convinced that all the other instances too, Swami has done what he has done, Swami has spoken what he has spoken, and just to bless a devotee out of selflessness, nothing he has done for himself. So for me, that was a message. It is so personal, so amazing. And again, as I said, even that listening to that discourse is an inward path, not an external path. Externally, it might be different. Once we understand this, once it is firm in us that sadhana is an inward path, everything becomes inward. We all know that sadhana has to be disciplined. It has to be well maintained, right? It has to be done regularly. Once we understand the secret that sadhana is an inward path, even this discipline becomes an inward discipline. I remember a brother, my namesake, his name is also Arvind Sai. He was my colleague formerly at Radio Sai, and he was a singer in the bhajan group. He used to do the Burra Katha in front of Swami. He had to go to Anantapur, nearby city. It's about 2 hours drive from Puttaparthi, or 1.5 hours by train from Puttaparthi. He had to go there for a dental appointment, and that day he told Swami, tomorrow I will not be there for bhajan, Swami. Swami asked, why? He said, Swami, because I have to go for my dental appointment. Swami said, so what? Swami, because at 5:30 when bhajans are there, right, I will be in the train, Swami, so I'm sorry, I will not be able to attend. Swami said, you're in the train, so why you won't be able to attend bhajans? And then Swami told him, at that bhajan time, close your eyes, think of me, and sing the bhajans in your heart. I will come. I will come. The discipline of sadhana is an inward discipline. We attend our centers scrupulously. That external discipline is to ensure that we build an internal discipline, so that when a day comes that I am not able to attend a talk or attend the satsang or attend a bhajan or attend a study circle in a center or in a mandir, I still attend it in the inner recesses of my heart. That is the training that Swami always has given us, to internalize in your heart. The discipline of sadhana also is inward, not external. At the same time, sadhana is of two parts. One is cultivating the good, and the second is removal of the bad. So when it comes to things like the Arshad Vargas or the 6 enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, desire, anger, greed, infatuation, pride and jealousy, these 6. We have to give up these 6. And again, giving up these 6 is also an inward path. I am reminded of the experience of Brother Gopal Indrashwar. Brother Gopal, Swami used to call him Gopal Gopal. Brother Indrashwar, the son of the Rajmata. He belonged to the royal family, and therefore they had a lot of issues with one particular accountant. Why? Because this person had won the trust of the family and had misused the trust to steal so much from the family. And one day, Brother Gopal was sitting in the mandir, sitting near the interview room, and as he sat there, he closed his eyes. He was peaceful, he was calm, and yet within he was very agitated. Very agitated. Why? Because he was thinking, what is this terrible thing that this accountant has done? And he is so helpless because he has done it in such a way that you can't catch him by law. So in that anger, he just imagined that accountant there and he began to punch him, punch, smash his face. And as he was doing this, externally he was very calm, very peaceful. Anybody seeing him would have told, wow, he is in meditation, right? That is how it is. It's calm. But then the interview room door opened and Swami came and said, Gopal, come in. Swami took him into the interview room and then Swami said, Gopal, what are you doing? What Swami? Nothing. Swami said, why are you committing murder? Murder? Yes, what you are doing in your mind is murder. You are getting the sin of committing a murder. God, Swami, so sorry. He realized that. And then Swami went on to tell him, you are so upset with him, right? Okay, do one thing now. Do you see him? Do whatever you want to him. And at that moment, Brother Gopal's eyes closed and he could see himself standing on a cliff, on the top of a cliff, and there was this person who had cheated their family. And all his anger came, and here Swami is telling, do whatever you wish. Okay, fine. This is like Swami is forgiving my murder. Swami is giving me the license to do whatever I want. So he went and hit that person so hard that that person fell off the cliff. And he was going straight down where there was the sea and rocks, a rocky beach. He is going to hit those rocks and sure death it's going to be. And even as he does this, in that very moment, he notices one little infant in this man's arms. Seeing that sweet, cute, cherubic, angelic baby, his heart melts. Oh! And suddenly he realizes what he's doing. When he does this, that baby is going to lose the only support and that baby is also going to die. Oh no! He lunges forward and holds this person. Holds and with a lot of effort pulls him back up on the cliff. And he lies back exhausted. All this is happening within, right? And then he's out of this experience and Swami is there before him. And Swami now asks him, how do you feel for him now, against him now? And he says, Swami, I don't feel anything, no problem, Swami, I'm fine. There's no more hatred in the heart. And Swami tells him, there, your karma with him is finished. karma with that person is complete. Without Brother Gopal having done anything. Because doing is not about external alone, it's an inward path. And Swami further gave this advice to Brother Gopal that whenever you get such intense negative feelings for somebody, somehow bring that person in your mind's eye. Visualize that person, him or her, and at the same time, think of something else that will exude and bring out love in your heart. And for all of us, that is Swami. Think of that moment when oozing love comes. And once you have that visualization of this person and this situation of oozing love, once that selfless and broad love flows, your karma with that person is finished. It's done. Nothing else will bother you again. Wow, what an incredible technique. What an incredible secret that Swami gives out so easily to us because of his love for us. This was narrated by Brother Gopal Indrashwar during his Samarpan talk in Brindavan, Whitefield, 2016 or 17, I think. It's so incredible that it shows that all our sadhana is an inward path. I can finish all the negative karma that exists between me and a person who is bothering me or who hates me or whom I hate, whom I am irritated with just this kind of visualization and overcoming. It's an inward path. Everything is about within, what I feel within. So too, it's not important that people praise us and tell us that, wow, you're an evolved soul, you're so devoted to God. No, it doesn't matter. Even if they say that inside, if I'm not at peace and I'm not happy, it doesn't matter. I'm not an evolved soul. Everybody thought that Duryodhana was so rich, he was so wealthy, he is the emperor ruling an empire from Hastinapura. But Duryodhana himself knew no peace. He felt envious and jealous of the Pandavas who were in the forest without anything. They were deprived, I am telling in quotes, they were deprived of all the material possessions and luxuries. And yet, Duryodhana, who is the emperor ruling at Hastinapura, is feeling jealous, is targeting, trying to get them into trouble. He is sending sage Durvasa to the Pandavas. He is sending Karna to the Pandavas to attack them. He is sitting and instead of ruling the empire, constantly bothering about what Yudhishthira is doing, what Bhima is doing, what Arjuna is doing, burning in envy, burning in hatred, not having any peace at all. It's not about external, it's about the internal. And the Pandavas, they are banished. They are apparently banished from the kingdom. They are in the forest, they are in exile, they have nothing. They have been stripped away of everything. And yet they are in supreme peace. They are in internal equilibrium. Of course, they had their moments of agitation, but more or less, generally, they were at peace because they had with them Krishna. Krishna not physically, Krishna in the heart. It is an inward journey, an inward path. Everything is inward. That is why Swami would say, Yad bhavam tad bhavati. God you think, God you are, dust you think, dust you are. What you think, when I say think, it's about what you believe. And when I say what you believe, that is what influences what we feel. It's not like I'm saying I'm God, but I'm just feeling what, I'm useless, I'm good for nothing. When I get those negative feelings that I'm useless, good for nothing, it makes me feel sad, it makes me feel low, it makes me feel depressed, it makes me feel suppressed, it makes me feel frustrated, it makes me feel irritated. These feelings, right, these feelings that we say, that emanate from the heart, they are a feedback mechanism that God has given us. They are telling us that, hey, what you are thinking now, what you are actually feeling, what you are doing now is not right. That's why you are feeling all these things. Do something that will make you feel joyous, make you feel energetic, make you feel vibrant. And this visualization of love that Swami told Brother Gopal, this kind of broad-heartedness, broad-mindedness, focusing on Swami alone, brings vibrance to life, brings energy to life, brings enthusiasm to life. That We know by ourselves. It doesn't matter if the whole world says that this person is doomed, he is not progressing, he is good for nothing, he is not a devotee of God, he is terrible, whatever they may say. When I am feeling this energy, all that doesn't matter at all. And in fact, even other people will be able to feel this. They will say, whatever people may say, there is some energy here that's coming. How much was Swami criticized? And yet people flocked in millions, because whatever people may say, whatever the outside newspapers, external things may say, the internal experience, the inward experience was that. Yad bhavam tad bhavati, what we feel is what we become. Krishna had told once to Duryodhana, go and find one good person in the world. And at the same time, he goes and tells Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava brother, go and find one bad person in the world. Both of them report similar things. What does Yudhishthira say? Yudhishthira says, oh Lord, I went all around the world searching for a bad person. I couldn't find any bad person. If at all there is any bad person, I think it must be me, that's all. I don't think anybody is bad. And Duryodhana says, Lord, I went, he doesn't even say Lord. That is an unfortunate thing, right? He is staying so near to Krishna and yet he doesn't know Krishna. What a misfortune, what terrible it is. When the Arshad Vargas blind you, when your greed blinds you, when your anger blinds you, when your hatred, envy, jealousy or pride blinds you to God, it's very, very unfortunate. That is why it is not important about being with God. What is important is yearning for God. Duryodhana was all the time with God and yet he didn't realize that he is God. He didn't believe Krishna is God. He tried to capture him and make him a prisoner. He thought he can tie him up and keep him in Hastinapur and then therefore Krishna is now forever in Hastinapur. He can't be anywhere else. He can't go anywhere else. I'll get him captured. I'll jail him in Hastinapur. This is the kind of foolish thoughts that come when you forget the reality. And so he tells Krishna, there is nobody good in the world. I searched everywhere. Everybody is bad. If at all there is anybody good, it must be me. Because of the evil within, you see the evil outside as well. You think everybody is bad. Because of the goodness within, you see goodness everywhere and you think everybody is good. Yad bhavam tad bhavati, yad bhavam tad drishyati. This is true sadhana, an inward path. In fact, knowing that I had this talk, I prayed to Swami. I said, Swami, you should only speak through me. You should convey what you wish to. And Swami, I shall put in my efforts and think of some stories to tell. But you give me a good ending, Swami. You tell me how I should end. And with this prayer, dear brothers and sisters, I just took the Sathyaam Shivam Sundaram part 2 and randomly opened a page. And what shall I tell of Swami's love? It's so beautiful, so wonderful. This is that incident, this is the thing that came in my Sathyaam Shivam Sundaram, the part 2 that I have. It comes on page 187, it comes on page 187. And in this, Professor Kasturi writes about an incident from the life of Shirdi Baba. He writes how a devotee, Balram Mankar comes to Shirdi Baba to have darshan, and Shirdi Baba tells him, you go to Matsyendra Gad. Matsyendra Gad is one place far away from Shirdi, and Shirdi Baba sends him away to Matsyendra Gad. And at Matsyendra Gad, when this person is there, he gets the darshan of Shirdi Baba. And he sees Shirdi Baba there, he's so thrilled, and Shirdi Baba tells him, you thought that I am a 3.5 cubit body that is staying in Shirdi, right? I am not that. I am everywhere, wherever you yearn for me. And that is why I am giving you this experience. I am giving you darshan in Matsyendra Gad. This is what Shirdi Baba tells Balram Mankar. Following that, Professor Kasturi writes, our Swami has given darshan to devotees across the world. Across the world. To Known examples include Jumsai at Thailand, Sinclair in the United States of America, and countless people in different places. Swami has given darshan. Why? And then Professor Kasturi writes, and I would like to conclude by reading that. Professor Kasturi writes, Swami says, learn to yearn so that you can draw me to you wherever you are. That is more rewarding sadhana than all the journeys that you undergo. The sadhana you must do is to transform your heart into a Prashanti Nilayam. I shall certainly come and stay there. We realize that sadhana, Swami, Prashanti Nilayam, everything is about the internal path. Yes, we will definitely visit Prashanti Nilayam, we will do bhajans, we will see Swami in photograph, we will do all of this. We will attend our center, we will seek externally as a way to reinforce the inward journey. The journey is always inward. Sadhana is an inward path. All the external things that we do are props to support that inward path. Without going inward, all the props are of no use. And if we are able to go inward, then do the props really matter? Swami would often say, man has travelled miles and miles into space, but has not gone even an inch inward. On this beautiful day, when we are inspired with love for Swami, let us pray to him, Swami, may we move inward, may we go inward, closer and closer, so that ultimately we reach you. For after all, Swami, even your name Sai, as you beautifully said, stands for see always inside. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.